What's going on, people? It's Mr. back again with the previous show. I hope everyone's fit and well. And yes, Nottingham Forest are playing Wolves in the Carabao Cup quarter final. I'm so excited for this game. It's been a crazy journey for the cup games. As you know, we beat Grimsby, we beat Blackburn. Now we've got Wolves. As you know, like I said, I wasn't on my review show. As you know, on Sunday, Des done it for me. So thank you for Des for taking over, because as you know, do follow me on Twitter or Instagram, blah blah. I had some sad news. My cousin Monica passed away on Saturday. I knew after the Blackpool game, and then it got me a bit down. So, like I said, I took 2 days off as well from here. So I want to say thank you very much, Des, for taking over. And as well, people at top of the screen, I've done my cousin has done a just giving page for my cousin Monica. She was 29 years old. She got a son as well. So if anyone wants to do a donation as well towards the funeral as well, the link is in the description as well. The target's £5,000. I know the target has gone past as well. So if anyone wants to do like a small donation towards my cousin Monica, please do. But like I said before, I get my Dave on, I've got like a little picture for her as well. So please do, people, if you can. That's a favour from me. Just like in the comments, rest in peace, Monica, and I hope I'll see you soon. Yeah, so that's like I said, that's Monica, my cousin from Jason. As well, Jason has been on my vlog before, but it's just some sad news as well, people. So like I said, people, if you do want to donate to the Just Giving page, the link's in the description, please. So it helps a lot. Right, let's get to business. Like I said, before I've got Wolves, I've got a special guest. I've got Dave from Talking Wolves, and he's been on channel before. As you know, we're going to talk about the game as well that happened way back. Wolves beats 1-0, so we're going to talk about that and about the season as well. We know there's been a lot of changes for Wolves as well, with new manager, and the form has been up and down. Like I said, they're in the same relegation dogfight as well. But yeah, I'm going to get Dave in now. How do you, Dave?
I'm good, mate. Thank you. Thanks a lot for having me again.
Again, good to have you back. Good to have you back on. We've got to talk about it. The game, the 1-0 win. I think you look at with the penalty. But let's talk about the game first, Dave. What was your opinion on the whole game?
It wasn't the best that we'd played this season, but again, it wasn't the worst. I think that was at a time where both teams wanted to get the win or needed to get the win, and we just sort of did what we needed to do. Obviously, we were helped and fired up a little bit by the pre-match tweet by the social media, which I don't know if that person managed to keep his job or not. But yeah, I mean, we needed a win at the time. I think it was Steve Davis. We had the caretaker manager in charge, and he managed to get us that victory. And I think we had that little bit of luck with the VAR decision. But obviously, we saved the penalty as well. So yeah, a big win for us. And obviously, at the time, it was much needed.
So much changes has happened with Wolves. We can talk about your manager, because I remember your manager was linked with us I think it was about 3 years ago. I think when he was with his coach in the Spanish club, I think it was. I think it was Real Madrid. Was it Real Madrid? I think he was at.
Yeah, it was that. Yeah.
Yeah, like talk about him. Like, what's he done with Wolves?
I mean, he was linked with us a number of years ago when we were first taken over by Fosun, and they wanted him to take over the club when we were in the Championship, and that's when he got the Spain job actually, because the
Yeah,
takeover took a little bit longer than planned, and Spain actually came knocking on his door. And I suppose, do you pick your national team or pick a team sat in the English Championship? I think, everyone knows what the answer is. But yeah, so he's obviously been on our radar for a long time. He's been Sevilla manager most recently, won the
yeah,
Europa League there, but had a pretty slow start to this season, and things had turned a little bit sour there. So I think for him it was the right time for him to leave. Obviously, we tried to bring him in right after Bruno Lage was sacked, but unfortunately had some family complications. I think his dad was quite unwell and wanted to take a little bit of time out of football. We'd gone for different managers. Michael Beale, who was at QPR at the time, said no to us. And fortunately, Lopetegui sort of reinstigated the talks, and we managed to get him in. And, the timing, although, it could have been slightly better, it was still good because it was before the World Cup break. So we had that time to sort of get with the squad and see what he needed to do. And it's been a really good change for Wolves. The players look fitter, they look sharper, they look more up for it. And we had a team, I think everybody knows individually, Wolves have some great players, but it just
yeah,
wasn't working for whatever reason this first half of the season. But now Lopetegui, somehow got some sort of balance. That looks like there's more of a plan in place. And yeah, we've had a really decent start. I think if you look at the form of the team since Christmas, since his first Premier League game, the form of the teams around us from probably 13th downwards, it's Wolves and Forest at the top of that list, and Wolves
yeah.
just about on goal difference. But after the first, is it 2 or 3 league games, Wolves are 4 points alongside Forest. So
Yeah.
he's definitely had a positive impact, and we played really well in the cup as well on Saturday.
Mm. Was he your first choice to be Wolves manager, or was it just someone different?
I was more than happy with him. I think that there were options there, but no one that really filled me with much confidence. Again, Michael Beale as a coach looked okay, but really didn't have the experience to probably step up to the Premier League. I know he's at Rangers now, which is obviously a
Yeah.
massive job for him. But there wasn't anyone out there that filled me with much excitement. So I'm really glad we waited out a little bit and managed to get Lopetegui.
Mm. People, like I said, Dave's got a channel with Talking Wolves. Make sure everyone subscribes to David. His link's in the title, so if when Forest do win, we can go at him. Because I know Forest do want revenge. I know it's a cup game, something different, but make sure, like I said, everyone subscribes to Dave Talking Wolves as well. Dave, let's talk about, like I said, you players. Like I said, on paper, you mentioned that you have got a good team, a really good team. Are you disappointed? Like I said, you're in that mini league with us. I class as a
Yeah.
mini league. Are you disappointed with the way it's gone? But I know it was a bad start for Wolves, new manager, blah blah. But players wise, do you think, like I said, you been disappointed with him?
Yeah, definitely. And I think with the amount of money that we'd spent on certain players, things hadn't started off too well. I think the main one was probably Mateus Nunes, who he's been linked with a move to Liverpool now this week, but we'd signed him from Sporting, and it was a real shock that we managed to get a hold of him. And he hadn't been playing very well at all before the World Cup, but
Mm,
I think that was down to Bruno Lage and even Steve Davis misusing him. He's a player, a proper number 8, really. He could pick the ball up from deep, and he's so comfortable running with the ball. And Wolves are playing him a lot further forward, almost as a number 10, and just not playing to his strengths. Fullback situation, it wasn't great. We had Hugo Bueno sort of break into the team in and around when we played Forest. I think he came off the bench against Forest for the first time.
mm,
But so he's really helped out, shore up the left-hand side. But just the improvement of certain players straight away over the last few weeks has been amazing. We signed Gonzalo Guedes from Valencia.
good
Everyone was
player,
really excited about him,
good
and he's
player.
been shocking the first half of the season. Really,
That's
really
it.
poor. But then against Liverpool on Saturday, which is his first, I think his first start under Lopetegui, he was really, really decent. So, we're seeing gradual improvements. Yes, the first half of the season was disappointing, but we're all hoping second half of the season now, fresh start, and we just go again, start from scratch and see how we do.
Mm. Like I said, the cups is a distraction for both teams. Cup
Yeah.
finals, like I said, are you? What's your opinion on it? Like I said, everyone mentions me like what you prefer, the cup run or the league? Dave, what what would you prefer, the cup run or league?
I think everyone, especially when you're in the Premier League or in the position both Forest and Wolves are in,
Yeah.
if you, at the end of the season, if you stayed up, if you were knocked out tomorrow but stayed up in the Premier League, I think you obviously would be happy. But at the same time, this is a chance for both teams to get into the last four of a domestic competition. And I think in the semi-final, across two legs, Forest have made life difficult for the big teams as well. So whoever you get drawn against, across two legs, anything is possible. So I think, if for either team, if we could get through to the last four, you got every chance of getting into the final. So that's a big achievement. I mean, in my lifetime, I can only remember Wolves recently getting into one semi-final. That was in the FA Cup a few years ago. So to get into the semi-final again of a domestic cup would be fantastic. But I think Premier League safety, if you gave me the option now, I obviously would choose Premier League safety.
I watched the Liverpool game against you lot, and I thought you lot got robbed with the stupid VAR. But what was your opinion on it? Because I think all Forest fans, everyone knows, all the Forest fans know in the comments know how we feel about Liverpool. But what was your opinion on that game?
Yeah, we were really unfortunate. I thought we rotated a little bit for that game. It's still a strongish team, but it wasn't our first 11, and we gave them a really good game, considering that was, I would say, their strongest 11 available. And we looked much better than them. That was probably the best performance we've seen for a long, long time from Wolves. And like you said, right at the end of the game, we were robbed. It was a goal. No way was it offside. Obviously, VAR apparently didn't have the angles to see if Núñez was offside or not. And since we've seen people from the crowd or tactical cameras prove that he was onside. So that's really frustrating, because it adds another game that we have to play as well next week, when you could do with the rest ideally. But yeah, I was, to be fair, I was half expecting, and no disrespect to Liverpool fans, but you just see them moaning and saying,
as always, Dave, they always moan. They always moan.
I half expected to go on social media and just be full of Liverpool fans saying he's offside, get over it. But even like Liverpool fans, ex-players like Robbie Fowler put, I don't know how Salah's goal stood and the Wolves goal was disallowed. So I think everybody knows it was an absolute farce, and we're unlucky not to already be in the fourth round.
The question is, like I said, I think I've always answered it. You always answered the question. Like, you got the League Cup, you got the FA Cup, you got the Premier League on all fronts, and that. But surely Premier League is your number one priority, don't it? Right? Or cup final?
I think so, but I think we've got the quality to compete on more than one front. The interesting thing was, if you asked me this question last Friday, or any Wolves fan, I think, out of the next three games, which would be Liverpool, Forest on obviously tomorrow, and West Ham in the league next week, Liverpool would have been last on the priority list. I think every Wolves fan knows that we can go toe-to-toe with Forest. We can give them a good game, and it's a winnable match. And I'm sure Forest would probably feel the same. So we wanted to have a bit of strength in the squad. And West Ham on Saturday is obviously a must-win, because they're in and around this sort of mini league, like you said earlier. So Premier League is the priority. You've got to stay in the Premier League, but there's no reason I think a squad as strong as Wolves won't be able to compete on another level as well.
We're going to talk about a player that is Sam for Forest. We'll talk about Wade Bolly. For us, I think his debut was shocking for us, but he's slowly getting there for Forest. What was your opinion? Like, I don't know if we spoke about it. I think did he go on strike at Wolves because he wants to move with Forest? What was your opinion on the whole thing?
It was surprising, because he'd been with us since we got promoted, the season we got promoted to the Premier League. So he'd been with us for a long, long time, and unfortunately had a couple of struggles with fitness. I think he got long COVID, and since he got that, he just struggled to get any sort of level of fitness. I would have, early days in the Premier League, I would have said he was sort of one of the best centre halves outside the top six. And then obviously injuries have just killed him. But yeah, we were disappointed. We were really surprised at what happened. I think it was against Newcastle, I've got a feeling, at home, and he was in the squad and just didn't turn up. So it was just a real shock, and as you say, just forcing a move to Forest. So it's a disappointing end, because I think he'll get a lot of stick now for Wolves fans. Like tomorrow, if he starts or plays, I think he'll get heckled just because of that one thing that he did. But other than that, he was a really good player for Wolves.
I've seen another player that I was really disappointed that you let him go. Conor Cody. Do you miss him at the back? Because I know you got some. Is it two English centre backs you got? But
Irish and
Cody,
English, yeah. Colin's
Irish,
Irish and Kelman
yeah,
English,
like.
yeah, yeah.
Do you still miss Conor Cody, or are you just looking forward now?
It's a weird one. I think, yeah, probably 90% of the Wolves fan base are looking forward and just want to move on. Cody was an unbelievable captain and leader and organizer, but obviously I think his quality as a footballer probably isn't the quality that Wolves need long term. I don't think he's a bad footballer. I mean, you wouldn't get into the England team and be a Premier League player if you're a
Yeah,
bad footballer, but I think long term for Wolves, it was probably the right decision. I think he's struggling a little bit still at Everton. I think he's made a change to them, and I
yeah, but
think
that's
Everton
important.
fans are happy. But
Yeah, but you know what it is? I blame Lampard
yeah, I don't think
for.
he's a great coach either, Lampard.
I
Yeah,
don't think he's a great coach. I
uh,
prefer, like I said, you've got the new manager in. I think, me personally, I thought Cody would have suited your team.
it would be interesting. I think he's perfect for a back five. I think in the middle of
Yeah.
a back five, almost as your sweeper, he's brilliant. But then that was the issue with Wolves, especially under Bruno Lage last year. I think he stuck to the back five just because we had Cody. And then he made quite a brave decision this year of switching to the back four, letting Cody go. But the issue for Bruno Lage was he let Cody go. He let Willy Bolly go, who'd been there for a number of years. He'd let John Ruddy go, who had been there for a number of years and a really real leader. He'd let Romain Saiss go, who had been there for years. And he lost a lot of big characters in such a short space of time. So I think slowly but surely, there's been players that have stepped up to it. And Lopetegui has helped get that leadership and authority back into the dressing room. So I think long term, Wolves won't regret it. It's just one of those things where early part of the season, you saw Everton doing all right. He actually scored on the weekend. Bruno Lage was sacked as well. I remember one of his family put out a sarcastic post on Facebook about it, about what weekend it was or something. Yeah. So he obviously didn't have nice things to say about him, but yeah, he's still under contract at Wolves at the moment, obviously because he's only on loan. So we've not got the truth behind his exit yet, but I'm sure we'll hear that in the next 12 months or so.
100%. Let me ask you, Dave. Like I said, we've got you in the league as well. I think it's March or April time. But what's your opinion? You got new manager in, Jan Windows coming up soon, like bringing players in and out. Do you think Wolves will stay up?
I've got a good feeling that we will stay up now. I think that we've done enough, and I know we're still in the drop zone at the minute, but we've really tightened that gap. When he first came in, I think it was 4 points. I think it's 2 points now, so it's much better. And I'm hoping that we can climb, and I think we do. I think we will. It'll be an interesting one for Forest because I think you lot have been really good since Christmas as well, and it's just those games with teams in and around us at the minute. I think if we can beat all the teams around us, we've got a really good chance of staying because, like you say, Everton under Lampard, under real pressure. Will he last until the end of January? I don't know. West Ham with David Moyes as well. I think he's only 1 or 2 bad results from getting the axe. So I think at the moment, teams like Wolves and Forest need to use this January, February period to their advantage and try and get themselves out of trouble, which I think, both teams probably have the quality to do.
People in the comments, what do you think? Do you think Wolves will go down? Do you think Forest will go down? Get your comments in, people. I'm actually 2 more questions, Dave. Like I said, that's a big game for both teams tomorrow. Quarter final, 1 step to semi-finals. What's your opinion on tomorrow's game? Like, I know, like I said, you played a second string, basically against Liverpool. Like I said, do you think Wolves will play a strong team tomorrow?
It will be a strong team, and I'll be interested to see how exactly Lopetegui lines up because we've sort of played with a 4-3-3 more or less since he came in. But Liverpool, we almost played like a 4-2-3-1 or 4-4-2 with an extra forward, and it worked really, really well. So I would be interested to see how he lines up with that. But it will be a strong team. I know you guys played pretty much a second string side as well. I'll sort of flip it on its head for you guys. Obviously, you lost quite heavily, unfortunately, in the FA Cup. If you obviously play a strong team tomorrow and lose, do you think fans will be really disappointed that you've sort of thrown it away in both competitions?
I think
he risked it at the weekend, didn't he, by playing a second string team?
Yeah, like I said, the team we played against Blackpool, it was a strong side on paper. Like
I thought it should be enough to beat Blackpool. To be fair,
it should be enough to beat Blackpool. But fair enough, Blackpool took their chances. We didn't. It's simple as that. And the team, the team we played against Blackpool, if we played against Wolves tomorrow, I think it would be more because after what happened, I think we're more Cooper will drill it into the players.
Yeah.
I think,
up for a bit more. Yeah.
you need a better performance, because I think the team against Blackburn in the Carabao Cup, it was basically a second. Was it a second string side?
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I might have been, but if we lose tomorrow, I think it's gonna. All Forest fans going to say. I think Wolves might say the same. Ferguson in the league,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I don't think it's like that, because, like I said, we want to do something. We want to do well. You want to do well in the Carabao Cup, and for the fans. So I don't know. It's a tough one, Dave. Like I want to win. I want to win.
Mhm.
I want to go Wembley again, because, as you know, it was the first time we went Wembley in May.
Yeah.
We loved it. So we want to go again. But people in the comments, like I said, what do you think? Do you want Forest to win this? Because I don't want to be hearing, oh, focus on the league, blah blah blah. This is the time to win something, because, as you know, we're at the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup's next. Right, Dave. Last but not least, people in the comments, get involved. What is your score prediction for tomorrow's game? Dave, are you going to the game tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow. Yeah, looking forward to it. I think I've got a 100% record at the Forest ground. So
I don't want to mention that last season in the Carabao Cup, you absolutely destroyed us.
Yeah, you're a different team then, but I think I've been obviously went then, and I've been
You've got a
twice
good
in the
record.
league.
You've got a good record at our ground. That's the problem.
Yeah. I think we beat you 2-0 just before Christmas. That was probably 7 or 8 years ago. That was a year after, so I went to that one as well. Yeah, we won that one 2-1, because it was at Carriol, the left back or left winger, scored a crazy goal that game.
Yes,
Carriol?
yes, he did.
Yeah. The wrong-footed John Ruddy. Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that one? It's about 40 yards out on the wing.
Yes, good goal that was. That was long.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, you got mind there. I can't remember that game.
Yeah.
I remember, all I can remember is you lot got a fantastic record against us. And then Jota, I think it was Jota, scored.
Jota and he scored that one. And Cavallero maybe, or
Cavallero,
twice at least.
Yeah. I remember that one. And like I said, last season, I remember a certain Morgan Gibbs-White scored for you lot against us. So, what's your opinion about Morgan Gibbs-White? Because I think when we played against you lot didn't give him a good reception at all. I think he's got might have a beard bonnet for against you lot. So, what's your opinion about Morgan Gibbs-White?
I think it'll be interesting. I've known of Morgan for a long time. He used to go out with a family friend of ours, so I've known of him. I've met him up with him abroad on holidays and stuff many years ago. But yeah, I was all for him getting a chance this season at Wolves. You know, he had the armband for some of the pre-season games. But, you know, he was a big part, and Bruno Lage really wanted to, integrate him into the team. Unfortunately, Wolves tried to play him out on the wing, and I just don't think, although he's a good player on the ball, I don't think he's as in quick enough almost to play as a winger. And I think the money that Forest are offering, if Wolves get the overall package, was almost too good to turn down. But I'm glad to see he's doing well for you guys. I watched him the other day. I think it was against Chelsea, and I thought he was phenomenal. I thought he was really good. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he gets on tomorrow. Again, I think he'll get a little bit of stick, but that's just Wolves fans. I think unfortunately he didn't leave on the best of terms. We had a bit of an issue with his family behind the scenes as well, with the fans at Wolves. So, but yeah, I just want to see him do well. And I've said for the last 2 years, if he gets a consistent run of games in the Premier League, he's good enough to break into the England setup. So it'll be interesting to see, how he did. I think at the moment, obviously, I don't know how many international games are now, second half of the season, but if he can get a good run of games at Forest and you guys can keep your head above the water, I think Southgate would be daft not to have a look at him.
100%. You heard it first. Dave thinks Morgan Gibbs-White in 2 years' time will make the England team. We just hope it's not under Southgate. I'm not a Southgate fan, but you never know. Dave, what's your score prediction for
tomorrow? I've got a back Wolves, but I think it'll be a tight game. I think it'll be really close. Both teams to score. I'll go safe with a Wolves 2-1. As long as it doesn't go to penalties, because I don't think the heart can take that.
We don't want penalties. We want a straight Forest win, don't we? People in the comments. A Forest straight win. I'll take that. Dave, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for the channel. And before you do go, just do a little for your channel.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, we're at Talking Wolves, so we're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and obviously YouTube. Do match previews, match reactions. So yeah, if you catch us tomorrow, obviously depending on the result, if you think Forest have battered walls, come and see me crying to the camera. But yeah, I really appreciate you having me on again. Yeah, apart from tomorrow and the reverse fixture, best of luck for the rest of the season.
Yeah, we'll have Dave back on it in the league. Like I said, I don't know. I think is it March or April? One of the two. I think
I'm not
we've got
sure.
you lot.
Quick look.
People in the comments, do you know when we've got Wolves in the league? It's one of the two, I think.
1st of April at the moment.
1st of April,
4th,
people will have
there you
Dave on the day before. So, but Dave, it's been a pleasure. And you know what? If you want to meet up, you can go on my vlog. I'll get on each of the vlogs.
Yeah,
and
I'll give you a shout, man.
I'll bring the tissues for you for the game.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Right, it's been a pleasure. Cheers, Dave, for that.
Cheers, man. Thank you very much.
Dude.
See you later.
Cheers. Right, that's Dave. We're talking Wolves. We said people, big game for Forest tomorrow, and can we do it? Can we do it? And that's the most important thing. Big game for Forest, and hopefully we can do it. There's been loads of transfer gossip, hasn't there? We can't go before we leave. Like I said, been so much gossip. Palmeiras yet again. Forest are targeting him, and Diallo, his name is, 21 years old. Put in the comments, how do you feel? I am going to do a show on this sometime this week. We've got a Palmeiras fan again to talk about Diallo. So that's going to be a fantastic show. And yeah, January window has come up. I'm going to be linked with nearly another 100 players. People in the comments, how do you feel? How do you feel with all these players being linked with it yet again? First 5 people in, if you can do a massive favor for me, hit the like button as well. But yeah, it's been absolutely crazy. We've been linked with every single one person, and yeah, it's been massive. Like I said, I'm going to tell you, I've not through the comments at all. Sonny D says Agent Scott doing his work. Yeah, hopefully, like I said, I've done some background checks on Diallo, and he looks a promising player. Arsenal were after him. I do remember. I don't think it was 25 million. I think it was. So hopefully, I don't want to say it, but we'll be linked with everyone. So hopefully that something can happen with that one as well. I've got some nice comments regarding, as you know, before Sheffield just turned up. I think I'll say at the end before we do go. Yeah, no, I'll say it now. I saw some nice comments as well. And let's just pray for you and your family, Mr. From your favorite American. Thank you, Mark. I much appreciate for that as well. People have seen it. I've put a link in the at the top of the link. Like I said, as you know, I lost my cousin on Saturday. Called Venica. And someone's put a Just Giving page on there. So if anyone wants to donate towards it, please do. The target is £5,000. I know it's gone over £5,000, but every penny helps, and it helps. My cousin Jay, she's lost a son as well from it as well. So yeah, it'll be massive help if you can. People, just, it's in the top of the link, and help out as well. Thank you, Eve. Hello, Mr. I hope you're well. I'm sorry to hear about your cousin. I'm thinking about you and your family. Thank you very much, Eve, and much appreciated for that nice comment as well. John Smith, much love. Sorry for the loss from fellow Red. Thank you very much as well. Sunny D, sorry to hear that. Keep your head up. My head's up. It's just came out of the blue. I think it's in the Star, Sheffield Star. If people want to read it, I'll put the link in the description. So as well with she did great work, charity work as well with her dad, Jay. I said everyone knew Jay. If no one knew Jay, look at my Sheffield United away vlog, 1-1, and he's on that vlog as well. So it's a massive loss for me and the family. Well, Dad, Ben, sorry for you lost, mate. Like I said, thank you for the nice comments as well from my dad. Make sure everyone subscribes to Rads as well. But actually, people, like I said, thank you for the nice comments as well, people. And I want to thank you, Des, for doing the review show, because my head wasn't there as well. Because like I said, I knew straight after the game. So, but yeah, it's been a crazy. And thank you for everyone that has donated towards Just Giving. If you do want to support my family, the link is in the description, and just any penny will help to help Renika's son as well, and all that. Right, I'm gonna put a little picture before. Would you go for Renika? Like I said, people, it's been a fantastic pleasure as well, and I'll see you tomorrow for the Forest game. And yeah, peace and love. I'll see you soon.